In a world already shaped by uncertainty, borders, policies, and global movement are once again at the center of attention. And today, a new announcement from the United States has ignited fresh debate across governments, airlines, international organizations, and millions of people who rely on cross-border travel for work, study, family, or safety. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security has revealed that the country is preparing to expand its travel restrictions, a move that could extend bans or heighten screening procedures to more than 30 nations, depending on evolving security assessments, intelligence briefings, and diplomatic discussions. According to the Homeland Security Secretary, this expansion isn't a sudden. It is part of a larger effort described as an ongoing national security review, a process aimed at identifying weaknesses in global travel documentation, detaching identity verification, and screening systems around the world. For some, the announcement sounds like a routine policy update, but for others it feels like the return of a policy moment many thought was behind us. The language used this time is different, more technical, more administrative, more focused on global cooperation, but the implications are just as significant. So what does it really mean when the world's most traveled to nation considers expanding restrictions to over 30 countries? Visa restrictions, or in some cases, complete travel suspension. And while officials emphasize the policy is not targeted at any religion, ethnicity, or region, its effect will still be felt most by nations with weaker digital infrastructure, limited security cooperation, or unstable internal systems. But beyond the technical side of this announcement lies a human story. Think of the students waiting for exchange programs, families spread across continents, workers whose livelihoods depend on international flights. To understand that, we first have to step back, because policies like this never exist in isolation. They are reactions to broader pressures, geopolitical tensions, intelligence evaluations, shifting alliances, and the constant balancing act between national security and global mobility. As the Secretary explained, the review involves analyzing how countries collect traveler data, how they share threat information, and how they issue passports and identity documents. If a country fails to meet these standards, it becomes a candidate for tighter screening, and airlines quietly recalculate routes, anticipating what may come next. Meanwhile, inside the United States, the conversation grows louder. Some voices argue that stronger screening is long overdue, that in an age of cyber threats, organized crime, and international networks, the world must operate with higher standards of identity verification. Others warn that broad restrictions risk alienating allies, hurting global cooperation, and disrupting families and businesses far beyond what security gains might justify. Businesses planning annual conferences or trade missions, hospitals employing specialists from overseas, and travelers who haven't seen loved ones in years. For them, this news lands like a sudden shift in the wind. A reminder that borders can tighten in an instant and plans can change overnight. As the announcement spreads, governments around the world begin reaching out for clarification. Diplomats prepare statements. Security analysts examine potential impacts. And while these debates unfold, ordinary travelers remain caught in the middle, waiting for official lists, waiting for clarity, waiting to see how their lives may be affected. But it's important to remember something essential. Travel policies are not static. They evolve. They shift with administrations, with world events, with alliances, and with new technology. What seems rigid today may look different tomorrow. As conversations continue, the Homeland Security Secretary emphasizes that the goal is not to isolate nations, but to push for global standards that make travel safer for everyone. Countries that improve their systems may avoid restrictions. Others may face temporary measures until they meet specific criteria. This is the delicate dance of international policy, a dance between cooperation and caution, between openness and protection between the freedom of global movement and the reality of global risk. As the world watches closely, one thing becomes clear. This decision, whatever final form it takes, will shape more than just airline routes. It will influence diplomatic negotiations, security agreements, economic partnerships, and the personal journeys of millions. Because travel is not just about planes and passports. It is about connection. It is about opportunity. It is about the simple human desire to move, explore, reunite, and grow. And whenever a major nation shifts its travel policy, the ripple effects travel farther than any passenger ever could. For now, the world waits, governments prepare, families calculate, and travelers watch for updates that may redefine their next steps. This is not the end of the story. It is only the beginning of a new chapter 1, driven by policy, shaped by global tensions, and experienced by ordinary people everywhere.